Narration Fixation. This is episode 1, and I have Phil Chenevert. Phil, why don't you tell us about who you are?
Well, hello. Thank you, Tommy. I am Phil Chenevert. I live here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and my hobby is narrating books. I like to do that with Librivox, which can be found on the web, on the internet at librivox.org. It's a free site, all volunteers, and our goal is to record all public domain books, make them into audio. And so far I've done a lot of it. I've done over 100 solos and a couple of hundred collaboratives. That means anybody in the world can contribute to the books.
Well, let's talk today about the collaborative or group efforts. So is it, oh, my dog just went out. Isn't that the best place for new people to get started?
Yes. In fact, we strongly encourage new readers or people who are interested in recording. They say, hey, I want to record a book. And to come to LibriVox, and if they want some experience, they start with the collaborative books. For example, I have one up there for Beatrix Potter, the Peter Rabbit. She did a whole bunch of, I think, what, Tiggy Wiggy, and she did a lot of stories, and there was a book published, and so newer readers can choose a small story to record, and that goes in with the whole book.
Very good. Now, I put a link to your readings of the Peter Rabbit stories in a playlist here on the All for Geek Alliance channel. So people that are watching and want to hear some of your readings, I put a link to several readings of your stuff, story of Peter Pan and the Peter Rabbit that we talked about before.
Yes, we've talked about those.
And I put a link to my playlist of the readings I've done on my YouTube channel, so you can see some of those too. I've done about 8 or 9 of these short stories from the 1870s that are kind of proto-science fiction.
How do you, if you don't mind me asking, how do you do it? You do this on YouTube?
I have them on my YouTube channel. So some of them you see me reading from my Kindle, or some of them you just see the title card that I made up to go with this set of short stories. So I was trying to see if I get better results if people see me reading or people just hear me. So the ones that get evidently the most views are the ones that are just the title card.
Well, I'm glad they can't see me reading either, because I'm a messy reader.
So yeah, yours you have pictures in yours, and they it's more than just one picture though. I just had the one picture for the whole reading.
Well, I did put some of the books on YouTube, meaning I like
right.
to put a book with pictures. I would take a picture and then just add a picture as the story goes along.
Right.
But then I realized I didn't enjoy that a whole bunch. But yes.
That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, and I realized that my joy and the happiness that I'm getting currently is to actually record books, and just the fun of doing it, and of course the editing. I like the editing too.
So the editing is not too much of a chore for you?
Well, I like it. The editing, for those who haven't recorded books, you can sit down and record, and it'll take you maybe, let's say, half an hour. You record a short story. And editing will take you maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, meaning you go back and you cut out the flubs, the clicks. I make all these mouth noises. I'm a very sloppy reader, and I have to go take out the mouth noises and make it more presentable. Bring the volume up here, bring it down there, things like that.
And that's called proof listening, or it's just editing?
Editing. I call it editing. What did you call it?
Now there's something on LibriVox called proof listening, and I hear other people talking about it occasionally, but don't you consider that a part of proof listening, or is that something else entirely?
Very good question. No, LibriVox encourages people, anyone in the world that wants to read. The only criteria is that you're intelligible, meaning we can understand the words. So if you're French and you want to read German, but you can be intelligible in German, that's fine. Or English, you don't have to have a great voice. You don't have to have great diction. You just have to be intelligible. Now, the proof listener, after you record a section, you clean it up, you send it in, and the proof listener actually listens to that section and says, wait a minute, you repeated yourself here at 2 minutes and 3 seconds in. Or there's a loud bump where your dog hit the table at 5 minutes. It tells you that the things that you may have missed when you edited. So it's after editing.
Right. So you have to edit it again.
Yes.
If they find problems like that.
I hope so. And we have standards, meaning so many seconds in the beginning and so many seconds at the end to make it standardized. So that's proof listening, is to remove the things that make you go, huh? You know, when like I said, when the dog runs into the room or the child knocks your coffee cup over and you don't catch it in editing.
So anything that takes you out of the story.
Yes, exactly. Very good. Oh, well, I call it things that make you go, huh?
That's good. Well, so tell us about the videos you have here on YouTube that that help people to do all of these things we just talked about. So recording and editing and uploading to Librivox, particularly, but you don't have to do that specifically.
The thing. Oh, I've made videos. When I started reading about 3 years ago, I realized there were many small details that are hard to understand when you start and very frustrating. And so I started making these little videos and saying, how do you noise clean? How do you take the 60 cycle hum out of your recordings? How do you upload recordings? How do you do your 1 minute test? Just things that confused me. I made these videos and put them on YouTube. And then I have the links, of course, in Librivox, and I guess anybody in the world could look at them. Is that what you wanted to know?
Yes, and so I have a playlist of some of your videos that are the how-to videos as another playlist here on the All for Geek Alliance channel. So any subscribers that want to see any of those, there's a specific playlist just for the how-to videos.
Aren't you nice? My goodness.
Well, you know, gotta help everybody out as much as possible.
I want to talk about the stuff that you read. Now, you like early science fiction, right? Obviously.
Right. I've been reading some of that, some science fiction. I've got a kind of a pre-World War II spy novel that I'm reading for Librivox. That's that Murder Madness. It's part of it's serialized in Astounding Stories.
Oh, you're reading for Librivox. That's right.
Yes, right. And so I have 2 other books that I'm reading for Audible that's on their ACX, Audible Creation Exchange. Mm-hmm. And one of those is a murder mystery that's set in Oklahoma. And I'm still trying to find all the voices for all the characters in that. Because every time I think, oh, that character would have this kind of voice, I find another character and go, ooh. A lot of his characters are too similar in some ways to come up with distinctive voices sometimes. And the other one, I'm reading a collection of short stories, and so every reading is completely different.
Every reading is different, and what I want to talk about is how do you, people that may be interested in reading different things. I just finished, back between the time we talked about, I finished the Book of Revelations.
Right.
I decided I want to understand this a little more, so I recorded it and put it. It was cataloged maybe 4 days ago, and I'm reading. Oh dear, I already forgot what I'm reading now. But I'm reading a Poe story, a Poe mystery. I mean, you know, one of these murder mystery type of things. I go to not Guggenheim.
Project Gutenberg.
Project Gutenberg, thank you, and have many happy hours just browsing, looking at their huge science fiction collections and all these wonderful things that are available for us to read. That's it. I'm dribbling along here.
That's good. So Project Gutenberg is pretty much the source for everything that gets recorded on Librivox. So that Project Gutenberg clears everything that's out of copyright so that there's no problem recording the audiobooks for Librivox. That's my understanding of that situation.
Well, actually, Project Gutenberg clears 99.9% as public domain, but there are some,
Right.
like I could not use the text or Revelations from Gutenberg because there was a caution that's saying that this is still in copyright. So I had to go to another source. I think it's called Christian something, but it was public domain. I had to use their source.
So different translations of the Bible, or some of them are still in copyright.
Well, the translations and when people edit them, they may be the exact same text, but they can still slap a copyright on it, apparently. I don't know. I'm no expert.
No, I'm not either. So that's why I've been sort of playing it safe with things that are really old.
So, well, I'm trying to think of what people might be interested in. It's just recording is fun. You don't need any, well, you do need some special skills. You need to be able to talk and hear. But you don't need to be able to see. We have
you need to be able to see to edit, right?
No, we have completely blind people who record for Librivox. I don't know how they do it.
So somebody else edits for them.
I
you don't know. Wow, that's amazing.
And we need people in Librivox not just to record. We need people, like you said, to proof listen. They're invaluable. We need people to be book coordinators, which these are people that will say, oh, I want to record this book. And then they will be kind of shepherded through the process. They won't record themselves, but they will put it on the website, and then as people volunteer, they'll do all the background work to do it. So that's a lot of work, and they don't have to record.
Wow. So I made two videos this last week. One of them is about how to record on your iPhone or iPad with an app called WavePad. And I basically tell you how to get the things right for Librivox, but you have to transfer it out of the iPad or the iPhone to your PC to do anything useful with it. There's some editing ability in the software on the iPad, but it doesn't seem. It seems like it's a lot easier with the mouse if you transfer it to the PC and work with it in Audacity.
I imagine so, but we need people like you to do stuff like that, because the trend is more towards downloading to iPhones, smartphones, and uploading and doing all the work on them. We have a number of people who record directly to their Android pads, and I don't know how to do that.
Very good.
Mm.
So the other video I made this week was about microphones. So I had like 5 different microphones in the house that I gave test examples with, and they were all, I felt, usable. Some of them needed probably a little bit of help, but I think you could have worked with any of them. They just you just need to be aware that if the microphone is this close to your face, you need to probably not talk as loud or move as much if it's moving around.
Yes, very good point.
So that's another video you'll see on a playlist attached to this episode today. What else do you do need a microphone?
Yes, yes.
And some way to record it. That doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a phone or a PC. There's specific devices that are just recorders, but you have to be able to get it off of there.
Now, I would like to point out that there are people who record directly into their Android pads.
Yes.
They have microphones. They're getting so good now that they get good quality. Just right into. I'm amazed. I wish I could do that. I don't have one, but I wish I could. One of these days.
All right.
I got so much fun stuff to do. Oh, I'm reading the Murders in the Rue Morgue. Yes, that's next week.
Wow.
I'm starting that this evening when I come back from church. I love science fiction. Oh, so much good stuff.
Well, what else do you want to tell our listeners, viewers, subscribers about how they can get started? Is there anything else that they need to know? Well,
I don't know. Obviously, you record for Audible too, which is another whole aspect, because that's professional. You know, that's going in that area. Librivox is volunteer.
Right.
You don't get any
Right.
money.
So there was a big learning curve.
You don't get any money. So maybe people who are interested in voiceover work could. We do have quite a few. They come to Librivox, they practice, they get their microphone technique down, they get to do a bunch of recordings, and they can improve drastically. We don't care. We just love people. You got to be nice though. Librivox is very nice. Everybody is nice to everybody else. Well.
Yes, Librivox has been very helpful in the learning process, and Audacity's been, or not Audacity, but Audible, just isn't as personable with their help, I guess.
Well, Tommy, let me ask you a question before we end or whatever. Your experience, since you have worked with Librivox, you had to go through the sign-up process and jump through those hoops. Is there anything that you found particularly difficult that could be improved?
The odd thing that I remember when I did my 1-minute test was that my volume level wasn't appropriate for Librivox, and sometimes that it wasn't completely clear how to deal with that or how to adjust that.
And how did you find out?
Well, when I posted my link and somebody proof listened to it and said, your recording is okay as far as plosions and all that being understood, and it was the right length or whatever, and the right format, but your decibel level was too low. You need to be between 16 and 23 or something like that. Some number I didn't know how to deal with or how to read or how to get there.
That is a common. Oh, so common. We say we would like to aim for 89 decibels, and people say
89, right?
What are you talking about? How do I find this out? You're right. It's not obvious when you look at a track. It doesn't tell you how many decibels is there. You're right. That is important. And I've made a couple videos on that. MP3 gain will tell you, but people don't know this. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
And another time I had a video that had an audio recording that I uploaded to Librivox that had clipping in it that I didn't know how to deal with that, why don't you explain what that is?
Did you finally deal with it?
The clipping, yes. I had to, well, I tried to use MP3 gain, and then I used, I think Audacity, a tool in Audacity to help smooth that out.
Yeah, you can compress it a tiny bit, and it just brings it right on down. Anyway, I recommend my video on, we said, my recording's too loud or something like that. It's got some cute examples on there of how you look at your track and just eyeball that sucker. You can do, you can just look at it and tell whether you're in the ballpark. I never check my recordings anymore. I don't have to. I can look at them and I can tell that's close enough for me. So, am I sloppy? Yeah. I'm not known for detailed work. So, if there's anything else you need to know or you'd like to talk about, I encourage you to keep recording.
Very good. And I'd like to encourage everybody out there that's watching or listening to get started recording. And I hope you'll find the videos that Phil has made to be helpful, or the videos that I've made to be helpful. How's that?
Me too. Have fun, folks.
All right. And we will see you listeners and subscribers again in 2 weeks, and I'll have a new guest, and we'll talk about something else.
Oh, yes. Good. Good.
All right. Thanks for joining us, Phil.
Very happy to be with you. Sorry for all the confusion. I don't know how.
Oh, and some of it was my fault, too, so.
But, well, hey, look, technology is wonderful. I'll talk to you. I'll be watching in 2 weeks, and I'll be looking forward to see who you're going to be talking to. Okay?
All right. Thanks, Phil.
Okay, Tommy. Okay, bye-bye.